Welcome to Cosmic Mirror. I'm Siobhan. I'm here to bring you another dream and tarot reading. The people collective that I'm speaking to today, you've just stepped through a portal or a threshold which was protected, and you have had changes around your commitment, your intimacy, your closeness with others, your strength of character, and boundaries that you've had to put in place with others. And there was some possible maybe health issues involved there as well that were a factor, or that you've healed or are working on healing from this. Now, the collective I'm speaking to today, Spirit's coming through with a warning with regards to your spiritual work and your connection and what's coming up for you. Okay, so even though this is a dream sigil reading, the way that you can work with this, everyone can work with this. This is the intention that I set with it and the energy that I set around it. Next door. So that even if you dream or you don't dream, you will be able to access knowledge around this. You'll be able to work with this, and I'll give you a little bit more information at the end of the video on how to do that. I'll put timestamps on this video as well. For those of you that don't know, these dream sigils are something that I set up so that people can access that energy and learn from it. I've, from a very young age, have done very cool things in dreams, like I will have the exact same dream with someone on the same night, or I will see things happening, remote viewing, so many things. I'll see people before I meet them, and all this type of stuff. So I am able to meet up with you in the astral spaces, in the dream realms, and you bring through messages for me. Some of the collectors come through with a specific story, their story in their terms, and I will translate that. And that energy is, I've set that for the collective to work with. So if you are here, just know that the sigil is for you, and there's something in here for you that you can work with. Okay, so I'm going to start with just the dream and just give you the interpretation as we go through it so that you can get the background of where we're at. I've pulled some oracle cards, and then we're going to pull some tarot after that. Okay, so the person from the collective that came through to me was a woman. She had like dark hair, and she had almost like a slightly broader nose with, I don't know, it seemed like a bit of a dry place that she was from. And so basically what happened was she came through the security portal, this gate, right? And this was the place that was protected. This is the work that's already been done. And that boundary that had to be put up around, people, because she had these swatches of skin newly put on, cheek skin, okay? And that was the cheeks, so like your strength of character, your intimacy, your closeness, the work that had been done around that. So the place that she's coming from, and also this is the collective as well. So you are this person in the dream as well, that it relates to you too. So it's coming from a place of sadness, hunger, poverty, and struggles, and moving through, and has moved through to a place with vitality, enthusiasm, and full of like life energy. Okay, and this is where I think the health things come through as well. Is like knowing, especially as an empath, where to put the boundary in place when, to look after yourself before looking after others. Okay. So what happened then was she went to go and have a nose job down, a surgery. Okay. And in the surgery, there was a man, and we'll talk about them later, and his son, but I didn't know it was the son at the time. And then I was busy witnessing this with a younger sibling, a sister. So I'll also talk to what the younger sibling means a little bit later on as well. But in the surgery, what was happening was there was this really weird jigsaw puzzle machine, okay? And it was removing like a section like that from the middle of the nose. And I was explaining to the doctor how her nose should look. So now I was explaining from the way that my mom's nose used to look, and I was explaining how it would be more towards my own. So that is we'll get to the symbolism of it, but it's irrelevant like what my mom's nose looked like or mine looks like. It's the symbolism behind it, okay? So with the bone being removed and that whole thing of the nose as well can be like your knowledge, your intuition, your wisdom, right? And having to have a piece of it, of self, and the need for emotional healing in regards to that energy, that intuition, and wisdom, right? So you're seeking individuality and development, possibly from your mother or from that type of aspect within yourself, which is your nurturing aspect that offers shelter and comfort and life and guidance and protection to others. So there's some part of that maybe that you have, received from your mom in some way, or learn from your mom that you are needing to change and remove. Okay, so there's a need to cut out or eliminate these aspects from your life. And also, weirdly enough, I got this and I've confirmed it, so I don't know, this might be true for some of you, that the possible discovery of personal, cultural, or family secrets. Okay. So then when the father was busy doing the surgery, and then at some point he asked the son to do the surgery, and he asked the son, have you done this before? And the son's like, no, I haven't. So I got a little bit nervous and I was like, well, I don't feel we should be watching this because it's such a delicate procedure and I didn't want him to mess it up. So this whole bit translates to, and also like you're sitting there with the siblings, the younger sister of yours, right? So this removal of this aspect or this changing of this aspect of self, you are either you're doing this with your authoritative and protective aspect, okay, masculine aspect is assisting you to do this, right? But you're also trying to teach. So either you do have maybe you do have a son, okay, or this is an inner child aspect or younger child aspect that you're trying to teach or reparent to be able to give them the skills to do this, right? So that you do this procedure in an enlightened way that is peaceful, right? And it gives you peace of mind, tranquility, and good fortune and insight. It's extremely important that whilst you're doing this process, you do not allow others to criticize or scrutinize what you're doing, even aspects of yourself with this delicate process. Keep in mind, within dreams, people in the dreams can either represent aspects of self or people within your life, or most often than not, or not most often than not, sometimes it can be both. So especially if it's a close family member or someone, it represents an aspect of that family member that you have within yourself or that you are working towards or working on. But sometimes it can represent that person, okay? So the sister, this was quite interesting. So it depends if you've got a sister or not, a younger sibling. It could be a sibling that looks up to you, right? That is learning from you, or it's an aspect of yourself that represents that sibling relationships, like your nurturing aspect. Maybe you've got a sibling rivalry, that type of thing. You need to look at what relationship you have with your sibling. Okay. It can also be attention on your family role, your role within the family, which I find interesting, especially with the discovery of personal, cultural, or family secrets, or that's what's going on there. And maybe it is within your family that you are stepping up in a more wiser role than the matriarch or patriarch in your family, okay? Especially because the dad as well within this dream was deferring to the son to do the surgery. So in both of these, the theme was also that the child is busy learning, okay? Or the sister aspect, if you don't have a sibling, a sister or sibling, it could be your own feminine qualities. That you need to activate and or acknowledge within yourself, okay? Keep in mind that yes, this person did come through. She is a woman, woman from the collective. And thank you so much for coming through and sharing your dream with me and the collective for us to get this message through. But that could also represent your feminine aspect. And I think it is very likely because your feminine aspect is receptive, nurturing. So if any aspect had to really work on boundaries in terms of nurturing others, it would make sense. Okay. Okay. So then after this, very interesting. I mean, this is how it comes through. I'll always get like another I love it. I love animals. I love nature. So I also get a second dream that with animals that kind of gives another layer and a confirmation to everything else. Okay, so now in the second part of the dream, now you're in an apartment and your sister is still there watching and you're still teaching your sister. Okay, and there's these withered plants next to the fridge. And as you're looking like in these withered plants, there's a chameleon, but the chameleon looks very malnourished. Okay, so what I got from this was that this aspect of yours, or the sibling, however it resonates for you, is learning within a situational financial state, right? As this is work done in a place where there's stagnation, a standstill in life, or a lack of initiative. So that's the situation. And keep in mind, as I said, it can be an aspect of yourself. So in a place where there is lack or because this was coming through as something that this person has moved through as well, I feel that this is something that you're now teaching others, okay? And in a situation where they are maybe in the same situation of lack or standstill or stagnation. So in this space, your growth is hindered or slowed in some way, possibly by your caring and your loving nature. You may be experiencing a lack of independence and also a desire to be closer to nature. And I took this also as like maybe your true nature. You desire to be close to your true nature. And this lack of independence coming through as well is again that child that is busy learning and maybe growing beyond the parental structures, okay, and cultural structures that they've had. Okay. Oh, and then also with the chameleon being, he was very malnourished, but the chameleon is that you are adaptable and versatile, right, to any situation, but you're also feeling overlooked, right? And then I got like really interesting. So the chameleon. So as I was turning, and you were turning to tell the sister, oh, here's a chameleon. See another chameleon in these plants over here, and there's a little baby chameleon. And the little baby chameleon, when you go over to it, it got a fright and it fell on the floor and it lost its tail. And then there were two more little baby chameleons, right? And then as you're trying to catch this little baby chameleon to help it, there's a gecko. And the gecko eats this baby chameleon. And then you tapping on the chin of the gecko to try and get it to loosen and release that little baby chameleon. And once that little baby chameleon finally is released, great relief, it's okay. You see in the plants where the first chameleon was, there's a praying mantis, but it's weird because this praying mantis is standing like right straight up like this, and then there's another one that's lying flat like this on the stick. Okay, so what I got from this is that with this whole being adaptable but overlooked, okay, it's affecting your health and vitality and your new opportunities and then the growth, right? The energy that you can put towards this new growth, and you're also taken off guard, right? And you get taken off guard. So I don't know if this has happened. I think it's going to happen because what comes out in what you don't see coming. You'll see what I mean about that. Okay, so I think that this is still going to happen. You're going to be taken off guard, and it's going to affect your ability to grow and to move forward in the way that you want to. All right, and then for me, like a gecko is kind of like stick to itiveness, right? It's also like about that perseverance, and the gecko is like holding on stubbornly, right? So I feel like the gecko can either be an aspect of yourself or it can be someone else, okay? Very oftentimes it's a reflection inward and outward, so it can be both. And then it's this, it's also endangering your growth to hold too tightly, all right, and to persevere too much. And releasing the need, I wrote here, releasing the need to consume. And with the cards that came out, yeah, you'll see. Okay. So releasing the need to consume or hold on or conform. Again, with the cards, you'll see. Okay. And then with the praying mantis, what I was getting, so praying mantis for me is, it is your spiritual connection, okay? It's your connection to the divine. It's also about peace and, it's also strength, and it's also about being patient, right? So a praying mantis is very patient, and they will They are very much like in tune with the flow, right? So also, like, I feel like with the one that was standing up straight and the one that was lying down, it's the knowing the need when there's a need to rest, and specifically with your spiritual work and what you're doing and how far to push things and how far not to push things, having the strength and courage to move forward and when not to. Okay, so with that, let's get into the cards. Okay, so for the general theme of the reading, I received a warning, okay, and calling on your courage, right? So calling on your courage is like, even though you've got fear, the need to move forward and, following your heart just I think that there is a need for balance here when it comes to that. I think that, having seen what's happened now in the past and being at this point of understanding of boundaries that need to be put in place, maybe there's something that you've now seen about yourself that you are now very adamant at working on, but it needs to be done very delicately. It needs to be done maybe without, like I said, without others criticizing it or giving their 2 cents or their own wisdom on it. Okay. So for your opportunity, you've got the owl, and then great connection, and conjunction. Okay, so conjunction talks about a union, specifically a divine union. Okay, union with the divine, and I feel like your opportunity at this time, the owl, for instance, yes, is wisdom, and it's also intuition, and it's being able to scan a situation and see things in their entirety. All right. When is the right time to act? When is the right time to, or knowing as well that you have the wisdom and you have the connection that you need, and what needs to be taken into that union, and what needs to be left behind. All right. And so this is where, everything started like really pulling through and coming together in terms of the message. What you don't see coming is fear, trick, and then you've got wisdom. Okay. I'm sorry, let's hold it like that. So the raccoon dog and the owl. And underneath the deck, you had instruction with consume. Okay. So I do think that something is going to come up that triggers your fear. All right. Maybe your fear of being deceived or being tricked, your fear that your wisdom isn't enough, and you're going to feel maybe the need to over-consume, maybe instruction from others, and this is a very delicate time in terms of your intuition and your own wisdom. So be very careful, like use your discernment with everything, even with this reading. Every reading that you're taking in, advice that you're taking in from elders and everyone else, like you at the end of the day, your ultimate authority, and you know best, okay? The wisdom that you've received and others' wisdom, it's while useful, to that whole part of like restructuring your knowledge and your nose is like is it's your own, okay? And I feel that this is where it's interesting with the whole consume, because you've got that gecko, and that was what I wrote down as well, was the need to let go of the consumption, of the consuming, right, and holding on to. I think also like holding on too tightly hinders that growth, that new growth, that communion where you're learning to adapt and be creative and to not be overlooked, right? It's a very new space for you. You've just come through that threshold, and put that boundary in place, and you're getting your footing in terms of that. Okay. So the challenge at the moment, I received Akashic and the Keeper of Abundance. I think that, especially coming from a space where there was lack or poverty or struggle, this is wanting to understand who you are, right? Where you've been, where you're going, what your story is, and also knowing that it is abundant and that there is abundance for you. You know, you could have family members or friends or your society that is maybe telling you that this is not possible for you and this is what you are looking for. So then for your support, I received the Morrigan with medallion, and also the name for the way that I set these sigils up. So I feel on one hand, I don't know if you've watched the last sigil reading I did with healing a core wound on your path to enlightenment, because that was very much talking about the Morrigan as well, and coming from a place of being at war or being aggressive or having that rage, and being able to work with that sigil. Okay, so I feel that there's maybe quite a few of you that have done that, and this, or whether you've watched that reading or not, or worked with that sigil, and that is something that's supporting you right now, is that you've already worked through that energy, and now you are on the other side of it. You've already passed through that portal, with regards to the Dawn Treader. So if you also want to go and have a look, that was a guide that came through at a threshold. So it was very interesting when this came through, because I kind of feel that quite a few of you have already done that, and you're on the other side of that. Okay. The medallion can also be, because of the outcome, I feel that this can also be something that's maybe been passed down to you from someone in your family, and something that you are able to hold on to, or that gives you support. But as well, it's a way of looking at tradition, right, and seeing how it's going to be different for each of you, but looking at tradition and seeing how it has previously propagated a war mindset or a warring mindset, so that you struggle. Maybe it's like each one for themselves, or that there's not enough for everybody, or that type of vibe, right? Because the Morrigan is a lot to do with, she can be fate and destiny and war as well. Specifically for war, she was invoked by warriors to assist them, and she would also come and assist them after battle. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I think let's get some cards out. Let me just quickly check in. Let's get some cards out to clarify, and then we will look at your advice and your outcome. And just after that, we'll look at how you can work with the stream sigil further. So I want to clarify, spiritual, give me more on the theme of the reading. Oh, there's quite a few. Okay, so you have the Hierophant, the Knight of Cups, and the Fool. Mm-hmm. So this, I feel, is where you've already walked through this new space. Okay, you've taken that leap of faith, following your heart. That's what the courage card also spoke about, is like moving with your heart and towards what your heart wants. And I feel that you are working towards either spiritual connection, divine connection of some sort, whether that is in the 3D, or with spirit, or both, or with nature. Okay. And obviously, there is a need to temper temper this. All right, for the opportunity, please spirit. Oh, exactly. So you've got the 9 of Wands. So you've already put boundaries in place with people. And you are busy looking at this nurturing aspect of yourself. And when it's time to rest, and when it's time to allow healing for others, or nurturing or protection or guidance for others, so, see, that's the with the owl and the prayer connection and conjunction. Mm-hmm. Oh. And the thing is as well, like, when we are tired and when we are overgiving, it's very difficult to keep your connection with spirit. Like sometimes it's going to be different. It's not going to always look the same, okay? If there are some days when you have a little bit of, and I experienced this too, if you have some days where you are not feeling as connected as you normally would, those are the days that you take some time for yourself, take some time to go out into nature. Maybe, that maybe it is something you really need to do because it does keep popping up here. All right, so spirit for what the collective doesn't see coming, please. Yeah, okay. 5 of Wands. So this was with the fear, the trick, the wisdom, instruction, and consume. Mhm. I feel that this is you getting triggered somehow. That little chameleon was frightened and his tail fell off. The tail is symbolism of growth, right? And because it's a little baby chameleon, it's new beginnings, right? But I feel that some people are maybe going to come in and give you a little bit of contention, all right? And I think it's really important that you are prepared when this happens so that you don't lash out, okay? I'm going to read 2 of the cards to you at the end because I found it incredible how the words pulled through from the rest of the cards into those as well. Okay, so for the challenge, though, I won't be surprised. Oh, sorry, I flipped over. I won't be surprised if the 4 of Swords pops out here. Oh. Or the 5 of Pentacles. Oh, 4 of Cups. Yeah. So this comes out with the Akashic and abundance, right? And I feel that this is you struggling to see this beautiful rainbow of abundance that's in your cup, that you are able to move towards, that Spirit is busy offering you, okay? I feel like Spirit is coming in and trying to show you that this is destined for you, it is part of your life. You're made for abundance, okay? And I know when we come from a space where there is a lack mentality, it's really difficult to get out of that. And it's difficult to not just only pull yourself out of that lack mindset, but to be in communion with people that still have that mindset, okay? The other thing that this popped up for me when I was working through this is that I had a fear, right? I didn't realize this, but I had a fear that my friends and family, because I had limiting beliefs around people that were abundant, that once I became abundant, they would feel the same way about me. So it's like a subconscious belief that I had, which was blocking abundance for me. So I know that I'm bringing that up for a reason. And maybe that is why this 5 of Wands is here, is because it's competitive, right? Like if I don't have, you can't have. Or maybe you're wrong if you are abundant. Maybe that is a belief that your family has or people around you have. It's a core belief, right? Spirit from the supporting energy, please. Yep. The support, please, Spirit. With Morgan, White Fortress, and Medallion. Oh, you've got the Four of Wands. So I feel that this is also, you are, okay, definitely something that could be from your family, right? And a lesson that you've learned. But I feel that this could also be a stability that you have in understanding you're able to create a safe and solid space for yourself, and that you can protect your home, all right? Advice. Oh, there it is. And for the outcome, please, Spirit. There's three other around. And for the outcome, please. Not taking those. Oh, that is so cool. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Okay. All right. So, for your advice, you've got Miklan, which is the underworld. Okay. You've got Oil of Vitriol with the Five of Pentacles. So I'm actually going to read this card to you, right? Well, there's a few things with this card, but you'll hear, I know you'll hear. Okay, so keep in mind, as an aspect of self, but also as without, okay? Outside of you. Okay. Oil of Vitriol, acidity, resentment, and purification. When the green line appears, a great alchemical reckoning is afoot. Long-standing frustration and imbalance cause this regal creature to lash out unconsciously, consuming all in its path. Be prepared for emotional turmoil as the line thrashes about. Don't worry, these changes are necessary for growth, and in the end will be a relief to all. I feel that this was also to do with the gecko, right? Purification is the line's aim, and it's determined to get there one way or another. When this card appears, the question must be asked, am I the green lion or the sun? Interesting, the sun, right? The sun that's learning how to perform the surgery. The one consuming or the one being consumed. It is said that finding oneself in the mouth of the lion is a necessary moment on any spiritual path. As the discomfort passes, the sun's beams shine all the brighter. Okay, so then it also says, in alchemical texts, this great creature of change is known as the green lion eating the sun. And then it says, vitriol is an incredible acidic and corrosive substance, and so it comes with a few warnings. Don't overconsume, don't lash out, breathe and wait. No need to add insult to injury. Now, when it said that, no need to add insult to injury, and it spoke about fear, but the warning you have is about this fear, okay? And that little chameleon lost his tail, and then adding insult to injury, he also got swallowed by the gecko, right? And the gecko being perseverant in what it's doing. So I feel that you are determined to work through something within your subconscious, okay? Something within your subconscious about lack or being left out in the cold or being locked out of something. So I feel that you've picked up something within, and you might be transferring this to, this is probably an integration period, okay? And you're feeling it as a disconnection to spirit. So you are going overboard. I say this with all the love because I know, and maybe working a little bit too hard. So it's having that balance, okay? Get out into nature, go into the forest, don't be fearful that you've lost your connection. This it works in a spiral, okay? And some days we are more connected, some days we're not. I'm actually going to share with you, I don't have it here, the message that I channeled this morning. And it was, let me just get the wording correct for you. Hang on a second. Hang on, I'm going to go and get it. And I'm back. Okay. So the sentence I heard was, there is a light switch channel. It charges 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. Okay. And I feel that this was light switches are illumination, enlightenment, aha moments, epiphanies. Light switches turn on and illuminate what's in the dark, so what's in the underworld, all right? And I feel that this is allowing yourself that space to integrate and to, you've done really good work, and to give your soul and your spirit, your mind, your body time to integrate. It's going to take a bit of doing. And don't worry about the pace that it's going at, right? That's what the praying mantis is about. It's about understanding the flow, like when to have the strength to push forward, when to have the strength and the patience to have peace. Just meditate. Meditate if you without expectation. Maybe things aren't coming through the way they were before. Okay, so then your outcome, we received channeling with the Queen, okay, and the Queen of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to also read this card to you. What I love about this Queen of Swords card is that her cup of emotion sits here, right? So she is able to. Also, the Queen of Swords is the Queen of claircognizance, prophecy, channeling, that type of stuff. Okay, so that's why I do think maybe this is something some of you are working towards, but maybe not, even if not in such a direct way, it could just be working with spirit. Okay. Oh, interesting. All right. So the Queen. This is the outcome for you. Now, it's very interesting that you're working with your nurturing aspect, okay, your mother aspect and the feminine aspect, your feminine qualities and your nurturing. It's very good that you put this boundary in place for others, but I feel that this is where you need to look at your own nurturing that's needed at this time, and to also give yourself that break, because there's people that are looking up to you, right? Okay, so the Queen. The Empress, the Mother Queen, the Sovereign. Like her counterpart, the King, the Queen is a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, see, or she falls into petty, contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the land. If the King is the ego, the Queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus's bloom, the dancer's bow, the moon's radiant reflection. When the Queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. So they're patient as the Mantis. She waits for the grace of God and Goddess to move through her, channeling, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the Queen, is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal Queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. All right, so this is also the embodiment of grace, courage, resolve, and stillness. Okay. And then when it's in its dark shadow side, it's vain, wrathful, self-righteous, or demanding. The Queen does not accept the hand of a prince, but claims the throne, knowing the king draws near. She's a magnet for the fully embodied masculine and entertains nothing less. Okay, then it talks about Queen Cleopatra and Shakespeare. And so, yeah, I feel that this is what you will be attaining. You will be able to embody this aspect, right? And sovereign, the empress, grace and courage, stillness and patience, understanding that spirit moves through you, even when sometimes it feels a little different. And even if it does, at times like that, there's something else for us to learn. Like it's always working out for us. So never fear, right? Um, Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. Oh, and this is also interesting because the Seven of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. This is with the Queen, right? Fearing that something has been taken away, but it hasn't. Okay, and it won't be. So yeah, if you want to work with this dream sigil a little bit more, it's very easy. Even if you don't dream, I encourage everyone to try this. Your dreams are able to help you. The astral spaces, it's not just a dream, right? It's not just dreams that we have in the astral spaces. There's so much amazing things you can do there. So I would encourage everyone, just to maybe, even if it's just an important dream here and there, that you write down and try and interpret, or even just writing it down and remembering it. The language of the psyche and spirits, your unconscious, is in symbols and images. So even if you don't always translate it, there is an understanding that pulls through, right? And even if you don't remember your dreams, all of that work is still happening while you're sleeping. So the dream sigil for this reading is the praying mantis, but I want you to envision the praying mantis that is standing up straight and the one that is lying down next to it, okay? And before you go to sleep, you're going to set the intention to remember your dreams and to work with this dream sigil, and set the intention to work with the praying mantis. Let's see. Praying mantis in flow, okay? Cosmic mirror. So like you'll go to bed and then you'll think of this, the intention, cosmic mirror, praying mantis in flow sigil. And yeah, then I've set it up in a way that you can access this information. And the way that I've also set it up is that any of the collective that have come before you will also contribute to this. So any lesson or anything way they've expanded this energy is available for you to unlock and access and take in as like light codes, as understanding and knowledge. So yeah, I hope that you guys received what you needed to from this. And yeah, please feel free to go and check out some of the other dream sigil readings that I have. And I do other tarot readings as well about your energy, where it's at on all levels, like physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And also, I do have a Patreon community where we do discussions about this as well. If you've had done this dream sigil reading, you've done a journey and you wanted to come talk about the experience, really would love to have you guys there. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy and your presence and coming through. Please like and subscribe if you guys do love this. And yeah, thank you. I love doing this work with you. So I'll see you guys next time. Sending you lots of love.